What's up, everybody? I am Richard.
And I'm Shawn.
And we're speaking the language of bromance.
Oh, are we, Richard? No, Richard, what this is, it's the September Red Light special because we are taking a trip back to Lucie 666.
Yeah, red lights and blue plates.
Yeah, so Richard, people have asked for it, and we said, let's do it. What we're going to do is
Nobody asked for it, but we're doing it.
Yeah. So I had written 12 episodes for Lucie 666. So these aren't going to be the polished ones you saw back in the early episodes we did, where it's full music, full voice acting. It's just going to be Richard and I flip-flopping back and forth on different episodes. So we're splitting these up in 3 because we have 9 episodes left for you to go listen to. So if you haven't listened to the first 3, 4, go back and check them out and come back here to listen to these. But Richard, this week, we're going to be listening to episodes 4, 5, and 6.
4.
So episode 4 is New Case of Insanity. 5th episode
1, 2, 3, punch.
is Revenge of the Cuddly Bunny. And episode 6 is 2 soul clerks and a baby demon. Oh, I'm excited for these, Richard. So sit back, relax, and get your Lucies on. Lucie 666, Episode 4, New Case of Insanity. Interior, Lucie's front, day. Jerry and Brian are hanging out at the front. Brian is tossing a ball up in the air while Jerry is flipping through a dirty demon magazine. Jerry, in all this time I spent down here, I've never understood the kinks of these demons. I mean, look at this. Jerry flips open the magazine to Brian, who stops tossing the ball. Brian, what am I even looking at? Jerry, that's the thing. I don't even know. Is that a female demon or is it a male demon? Is it a male and a male demon or a female and a female demon? I have no clue. Brian, have you asked Voisin? Maybe he can explain it to you. Jerry, he's still in that weird demon age where he gets all nervous when I ask him about it. His horns start to grow and he has to hurry home. Brian, so he can slap the demon tail. Jerry, look at you, B-Ride, joking around like a true underweller. But seriously, that's inappropriate and I'm highly offended. Jerry slams the magazine shut and tosses it to the side. Jerry, seriously, where is every demon? I mean, we haven't had a single beast walk in here today. I mean, I've heard bored as hell, but come on. Brian, speak for yourself. I, for one, enjoy having a bit of a slow day. I've already cleaned, picked up the store a bit, and I've even color-coded our duties for the next week. Jerry, Brian, I love this store more than anything in the underworld, but so help me if you mention color coding again, I'll ask for a transfer. Brian, come on, Jerry, we'll be so much more efficient. Just think how much more work we can get done. Jerry, B-Rye, I feel like you were the kid in class that would correct the teacher when she was about to let the class out early for recess. Brian, well, she made an honest mistake. We had 15 more minutes. Jerry, 15 more minutes? Never mind, B-Rye. I think I found out why you are supposed to be here. Brian, I'm just trying to do my part for Lucies. Jerry, you can be such a goody-goody, B-Rye. Did you even let loose and have some fun? Brian, I was known to cause a bit of trouble in my time. Jerry, right. What kind of trouble was that? Staying out past your curfew? I'm sure all the parents of the girls you dated loved you. Brian, what, your girlfriend's parents didn't like you? Jerry, B-Rye, parents of my friends' girlfriends didn't like me. I'm like James Dean, but a lot cooler. There's a silent wind that blows through the store, similar to a western when a tumbleweed rolls by. Jerry, I've never thought I'd say this, but we need something to bring in some demons. What in this dark and barren wasteland would entice the demons to visit Lucie's and spend their hard-earned coins? There's a loud garage door sound in the back as the loading dock is opening. Brian says, delivery? Jerry says, it's way too early for our next delivery. Brian says, wonder what it is. Jerry, maybe you should go look. Brian, you go look. Jerry says, how about we go together? Strength in numbers. Brian says, what's there to be afraid of? I've seen all hell has to offer, right? Jerry, we should grab a bat. Cut to interior, Lucie's backloading dock, day. Jerry and Brian creep towards the back as a large crate can be heard skidding across the ground, and then the loading dock door finishes closing. Brian says, that's a big case of something. Jerry says, I hate to surprise B-Rye. If you got me a midget stripper, tell me now. Brian says, what? I didn't even know it was your birthday. Jerry says, it's not, but I thought maybe since you never asked, you just guessed. It's okay to do nice things for people, B-Rye. Brian says, when's the last time you did something nice for me? Jerry says, there you go again, B-Rye, making this all about you. Brian says, you just, never mind. No, it isn't a midget stripper. I can barely make out what it is. It's so dark in here. That's the thing about hell. Everything is so dark. Jerry walks away from Brian as he's talking, and he turns a switch and the lights come on. Jerry says, you don't have to be so dramatic. The backlights were just off. We are all about being green now. Hell, maybe we'd be about pain and torture, but that doesn't mean we can't do our part to minimize our carbon footprint. Jerry and Brian walk over to the container, pull off a packing list. Jerry starts to open the envelope with the papers on the inside. Brian says, what is it? Jerry reads, Jerry and Brian, congrats on being the first store in all of hell to get a brand new product. Brian says, wow, they actually used our names. Jerry says, they even spelled them right. This is exciting. New product is just the thing to bring in all the demons, witches, werewolves, vampires, and other hellish creatures to Lucies. See, B-Rye, you open your big mouth and look what it got us. More work. Brian says, we can always try to use the color coding, Jerry breaks in. B-Rye, you color code this palette of stuff, and you'll find yourself on bathroom dirty after Voisin gets done with the Hellfire burritos. Brian says, just trying to help. I'll get rid of the color coding system. Brian starts to rip the wrapping off the case. Jerry reads, introducing the newest drink to hit the market, Insanity. It's not just a cola or an energy drink, but it's a concoction of complete hell fiends balanced nutrition. Packed all in a shiny can that will surely fly right off the shelves. Warning, this is not for soul consumption. If you are not a product of the Hellfire, you should not consume Insanity. Well, that seems unfair. How bad could it be? Brian pulls out a can and holds it up. Brian says, look, it is pretty cool design for a drink. Jerry says, it's like it's calling me to open it and drink it. Mesmerizing sounds as Jerry stares at the can. The door opens, doorbell rings, door closes. Brian drops the can in his hands and it rolls away. A wolf sound growls in the store area. Jerry says, be right there, dog breath. Insanity? Yeah, we've got it. Brian says, how did you know we already had this? Jerry says, I don't know, B-Rye, but I think we are going to get these customers you were begging for. Go ahead and start stacking this Insanity out front. I think we're about to get a rush of demons. So cut to Lucie's front. Jerry is ringing up one customer after the other. After each one, he is saying that'll be $6.66. No, there's a quantity limit of one per customer. Brian is wheeling out as much as he can to the front. Jerry yelling at the crowd, how much we got left, B-Rye? Brian says, this is the last of it. Jerry says, everyone, I'm sorry, but we are down to our last bit of Insanity. Please form a line and we'll distribute you your can of Insanity. Let's all work together and we can get through this without anyone getting hurt. There's a loud stampede, cans rustling, and sounds of change hitting the floor, as all the demons go to take what they can. Brian is trampled underneath the demons. He screams, ow, 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 ow. Jerry says, Brian, grab my hand. Brian says, they move so fast, and their feet smell so awful. I think I'm going to be sick. Jerry says, just hold on, B-Rye, it's almost over. I can see the last of the Insanity. The door closes as the last of the crowd leaves the store. Jerry jumps down off the counter. Jerry says, wow, look at all these pennies. This is going to be a record day for the store. Brian moans in pain on the floor. Jerry says, all right, the trampoline. Here, let me help you up. Brian moans as he's pulled up from the ground. Brian says, do I have any hoof prints on my back? Jerry says, don't be such a tortured soul. Look at all the coin we brought in today. You complaining about no customers was actually a pretty good idea. Brian says, thanks. What do we do now? Jerry says, now we get to count the money. Brian says, how do we count all of that? Jerry says, 1 penny at a time, B-Rye. 1 penny at a time. So the door opens, bell rings, door closes as Voisin walks in. Voisin says, hey guys, I heard you had some insanity here. Jerry, a little bit agitated, says, go away, Zani, we're all sold out. If you want to help, you can give us a hand counting all these pennies. Voisin says, Jerry, but I'd love to, but I've got to take my cat to the vet. Jerry says, you don't have a cat. I'm pretty sure you actually eat cats. Voisin says, no, not my cat. It's, like a evil, demonic cat. Brian says, really? Demonic cat, huh? What color is this cat of yours? What's its name? Voisin says, it's blue, and I named her Blue. I gotta go. Door opens, bell rings, door closes. Jerry says, we've really got to get that demon a girlfriend. Brian looks at Jerry and says, back to work? Jerry says, back to work. More pennies being swept to Jerry. Brian says, I've swept the last of the pennies. What's the count? Jerry says, 666,666,000 pennies. Brian says, oh, that's a lot of pennies. I'd say we'd earn some ice cream today. Jerry says, not so fast, B-Rye. Something's not right. Jerry ruffles some papers. Jerry says, all right, the order was for 1,001,001, and we've only accounted for a total of 1,001,001. There is one missing. Brian says, well, that doesn't seem like too big of a deal. I mean, back upstairs inventories would go missing all the time. It's only 666 pennies. Jerry, just 666 pennies? There are a lot of things demons do, B-Rye, but they don't steal snacks. You have no idea the wrath the boss will lay down if we are short. You start looking around for pennies. Check every spot. Don't leave one stack of chips unturned. I'm going to check the back and look for any missing cans. Cut to the interior Lucie's front during the day. Bags of snacks are being thrown around as Brian is tearing the store from top to bottom looking for change. Brian says, I'm not seeing any change anywhere, Jerry. Are you sure one of those evil spawns didn't see one? I mean, they are demons. Jerry from a distance, I'm positive, B-Rye. All those years I've worked this store, that register has come out perfect, and the inventory has been 100% accurate. Cut to the back room of Lucy's. Jerry is searching through inventory. Brian walks the back. Brian says, what do we need to do? I mean, do we call the boss? Jerry chimes in, oh no, B-Rye, that's the last thing we want to do. Maybe we can check outside. B-Rye, what's that under the charcoal puffs? Brian walks over and picks a can up off the ground. Brian says, our missing precious. I guess I did just drop one, huh? Jerry says, B-Rye, if I had a pulse, I would have had a heart attack. But since I do have lips, I'm going to give you a kiss. Jerry starts walking towards Brian, making kissing sounds. Brian tosses the can to Jerry and runs to the front. Brian says, keep away from me. I don't know where those lips have been. The can falls to the ground as Jerry misses it. Jerry says, careful with the merchandise. You want to have it break, spraying insanity all over the place? Jerry picks up the can and looks over it. Jerry says, it really is a cool design. I wonder what it tastes like. Be ashamed just to sit it out there for some hell demon to drink. Brian says, but it said not for soul consumption. And what about the boss? Jerry says, oh yeah, I guess there is that. Maybe you should take this to the front. I'll stay back here and clean up. Brian says, I can do that. You all right, Jerry? Like, you look a little, I don't know, insane. Jerry says, probably just the stress of the work today. Get that can to the front pronto, B-Rye. Just tell me when we've sold it. Jerry goes to the back and starts cleaning as Brian takes it to the front. So we're back at the front. Brian walks to the stand where the insanity was sitting and sits the can down. Brian says, Jerry was acting a bit strange after finding the can. What if the boss really is that bad? Never seen him so out of sorts. Brian starts walking back to the cash register when a can opening sound. He walks back over to the can. What? Jerry was right. This is a really interesting can design. Brian picks the can back up. The can says it's a refreshing drink that'll get you on the right side of hell in the morning. What does not for soul consumption mean anyway? And then you hear a whisper coming from the can. Brian, shocked. Say what? I'm the start to the best time of your damnation. Brian says, Brian, you want him to drink me? Did you see how he looked at me? Jerry from the back, what? You sell that thing yet? Drink me. Brian says, no. You hear a pouring sound. Shh, not yet. Sound of Brian from the back starting to fade. You hear, okay, I'll stay back here till you do. Lots to clean. Yes, drink. So Brian is kind of in a hazy fog, and he's trying to collect his thoughts. He's kind of all distorted now. So Brian says, well, everything is so drippy. Is that Patches? Patches, what are you doing here? Patches was his bunny. Here, Patches. Oh, doesn't take care of me, Brian. You're the reason I'm here. The reason I'm in hell. I'm coming for you, Brian. I'll get my revenge. Brian, kind of distorted, says, no, Patches, it wasn't my fault. Dad said he was taking you for a walk. I didn't know, but the soup was so delicious. I'm sorry. I ate 2 bowls. 2 bowls. I didn't know. Patches says, you've done more, Brian. I was just a fluffy bunny with so much to live for, and now what? Now I'm stuck here in this fiery pit because of you, Brian. Watch your step, Brian, because one day I'll be there and I'll show you what a bunny from hell can do. Brian, all distorted, says, no, Patches, no, it wasn't my fault. The door opens, doorbell rings, door closes, and Voisin walks in. Brian. Brian kind of, he's like, sounds kind of, oh, hey, Voisin, what can I help you with? Voisin, I said where can I get the last one of those insanities? I heard you guys found one. Brian says, oh, that can of insanity? Yeah, we sold it. Yeah, sold it to not Bunny, I mean a other demon who wasn't you. Jerry from the back, B-Rye, you sold that stuff? He walks up. Jerry, hey, Zonnie. Sorry if I knew you were coming back, we would have saved the last one. Although the last can we had was really tempting to try. Brian, who's acting high, no, it wasn't. It was actually the most hideous looking thing ever. I'm gonna go and clean that slushing machine. You guys want anything? No? Okay, bye. Voisin, dude. Hey, did you guys get that fixed? Did you get it fixed? Jerry's kind of concerned. No. Do you think something's off with B-Rye? Voisin says, I mean, he always seems a bit off, but a busy day maybe? Jerry says, maybe we should keep like a closer eye on him or something. Jerry walks a few steps and you hear a can get kicked and rolled, and when he looks down, it's a can of empty insanity. Voisin says, please tell me that demon drank that. Jerry says, I was in the back the whole time. I guess I thought B-Rye could handle himself. I held that can earlier, and I wanted it inside me, Zonnie. I wanted it inside me more than anything in my life. Jerry shakes the can. You can hear a little bit in there, and he kind of pulls it up. Oh, there's just enough left for one little sip. Voisin knocks the can out of Jerry's hand. He picks the can up and throws it out the door. So you hear the door open, doorbell, door close. Voisin says, do you realize the effects this stuff has on human souls, Jerry? This isn't something to play around with. It says so right on the can. Jerry says, I don't know what came over me, Zonnie. It's like it was calling me. Voisin says, you could learn a thing or two from Brian. He's not the kind of guy who would let some propaganda fool him in drinking a can of insanity. What is he doing? Brian is drinking from the slushy machine. Since it's broke, he is just drinking pure syrup. When with his mouth full, you hear Brian say, oh, guys, I fixed what is the thing? What is this thing called? The flavor maker? Ugh, so good. Jerry says, you don't think he... And Voisin says, Jerry, if he did, we need to get him help. Then you hear Patches again. Brian, how can you drink at a time like this? And blueberry? You know, those were my favorite. Brian falls to the ground. No, I thought your favorite was carrots. You always loved carrots. Patches says, you don't even know me, Brian. That will make my revenge that much sweeter. You hear Brian scream. Then Jerry comes up. What do we do? He's tripping Demon Tail. Voisin says, only one person I know who can help him. I'll be back as quick as I can. Door opens, doorbell rings, door closes as Voisin runs out of the store. Jerry says, hey in there, buddy. Zonya's going to get you some help. So we cut to Lucie's day. Brian is in a hazy fog as he's being chased around the store by Patches, who is actually Jerry. Whenever Jerry talks, the hazy fog sound will go away. So Brian, talking normal, says, Patches, I'm sorry. I swear I didn't mean for it to happen that way. And you hear Patches say, you're wrong, Brian, and I have proof. This is the exact reason you're meant to be here. This has been the plan all along. And you hear Jerry say, be right, come on, man, you're going to hurt yourself. Brian, talking high, no, what plan? What's the plan, Patches? Jerry says, be right, get off the slushy machine. I know it doesn't work, but if you break it, the boss will flip his shit. Then you hear a heavenly sound as a light shines down on Brian. Brian again talking normal. Oh, the light. Patches, the light. Come with me, Patches. You can come with me and we can take Jerry with us. You hear Patches again. You both deserve to be locked in a fiery cage for the rest of eternity. That light is not for you. Get away from that light. Get away from that light. Get down from that height. Get down from that height. And you hear Jerry, be right, get down. You're going to hurt yourself, bud. You're going to fall and hurt yourself from that height. Jerry and Brian both tumble off the slushy machine and fall to the ground. Boom. Jerry says, I think I broke your fall, be right, but doesn't look like I ruined your high at all. Brian says, oh, the light. I can go in the light. Door opens, bell rings, door closes. And you hear Evanora. Evanora says, you weren't kidding, Voisin. He is wasted. Jerry says, Evie, what are you doing here? If you're just come to poke fun at us, you can just take your broom riding self right out the door. Voisin says, Jerry, she's got the cure. She can help Brian. Jerry says, oh, in that case, welcome to Lucie 666. Can you please help my friend? Evanora says, well, Jerry, I'm sorry to tell you there is only one cure for your friend. Jerry says, elixir, potion, spell, shot of whiskey. Voisin says, how would whiskey help? And Jerry says, it always helped Grandpa. I mean, what do I know? I'm not a doctor. Voisin says, so what is it? What's the cure? Evanora says, the cure is a kiss from yours truly. Jerry says, Zani, can a soul die again? I mean, I love B-Rye, but there's no way he'd want to kiss this witch. Voisin says, Jerry. Brian, acting high again, says, go to find my friend Jerry and take him to the light. Evanora says, lights? Jerry says, what? Don't give me that look. It's not that kind of thing. And if it was, don't you judge me. Brian, acting high, I need to save my little cuddly bunny. Bunny. Jerry says, for goat's sakes, Evie, kiss the man. Evanora leans down and puts her hands on Brian's head. Evanora says, all right, Brian, this is going to hurt you more than it'll hurt me. And then the hazy fog comes back, and Patches says, Brian, you must know the truth of why you are here in hell. The truth is... And then starts to mumble and go away. And Brian says, the truth is what? The truth is what? Here's a long kiss sound as Evanora is kissing Brian deep and long. Brian takes up with a gasp and starts to struggle to get away. What's going on? Where's Patches? Why are you kissing me? And why are you two standing there awkwardly watching us kissing? Jerry says, Brian, you dumb son of a bitch. You drank the last of the insanity. Look around at this mess you caused. Brian says, I'm sorry, Jerry. It was like it called to me. I didn't expect a drink to be so... Evanora chimes in, evil? Sweetie, you were in hell, remember? Just about everything here is evil. Brian says, that doesn't explain why you were kissing me. Evanora, did you drug me? That's what happened. You put a spell on me so you could kiss me. Evanora, slow down, Hot Rod. You drinking all that Incenity was all you. Evanora pulls out a little bottle and juggles it in her hand. Evanora says, the kiss was a perk on my end. I could have just, put a little of this on your lips and you'd be cured. But where's the fun in that? I've got this cure in a lip gloss form. Evanora smacks her lips together and Voisin whispering to Jerry, maybe we should have got a second opinion. So there's a broom in the back as Brian is cleaning up, and Voisin says, you sure you don't need any more help? Jerry says, no, thanks, Zani. I think we can handle this. Evanora make sure you tell Brian if he needs any more medicine. I can make house calls. Jerry says, get out of here, you horny old witch. Evanora and Voisin walk out of the store. Jerry walks over to Brian, who's still cleaning. Jerry says, how you feeling, B-Rye? Brian says, like the poster child for an after-school special. I'm really sorry about the mess. I don't know why I drank it. And Jerry says, that's all my fault, B-Rye. I thought maybe you'd have more self-control than I would, but I should have realized you don't fully understand how things work down here yet. So, what was it like? What did you see? Brian says, I talked to... Man, there's a reason why I'm here. The boss phone rings, and Jerry and Brian stop everything as it rings. Jerry walks over and picks it up. Jerry says, hello, sir? Yes, there was a bit of an incident today, but... Yeah, we're short some money after losing one of the non-working slush machine did fall and break his well. I know what kind of pressure you were in, and no, it wasn't all his fault at all. I lost the can while I looked for it. I knocked over the machine. You're right, it is pretty dumb to look behind the slush machine for a can of insanity. Yes, that's why I'm here. I am, and you. I understand. It won't. Thank you. Jerry hangs up the phone, lets out a stressful sigh, and Brian says, what's going to happen to me? And Jerry says, nothing yet. I, on the other hand, will be on super high probation. Boss man says any slight hiccup, and he will be down here first thing. I was going to put this on you, B.Y. They don't look too kindly to guys messing up their first century behind the counter. Brian says, man, I can't thank you enough. Jerry says, what are friends for, right? I mean, come on, let's get this place cleaned up. Jerry walks past Brian and starts sweeping. Brian says, Jerry? Jerry says, hey, what's up? Brian says, I really don't think I'm supposed to be here. I really, really don't think I'm supposed to be here in hell. Jerry stops sweeping, looks up at Brian, and Jerry says, yeah, I don't think most of us belong here either, B-Rye. And they close up the store. The end.
This is going to be a dramatic reading. It sounds so stupid. Dramatic reading. Lucies. Season 1. Episode 5. I'm going to just read the whole thing word for word. I'm even going to add in the little flavor text in there. It's going to be awesome. Everybody's going to love it. All right. We open with a convenience store during the day. Jerry is opening a box and putting the contents on the... Oh, Jesus. Okay. I'm going to start that over. I'm starting that over. Shawn, cut all this out. All right. Let's try this again. Season 1, Episode 5. We open with a convenience store during the day. Jerry is opening a box and putting the contents of the box on the table. Oh, I see the new slushy machines arrived. You have superior eyes and for a recovering insanity addict. Huh? Insanity? I wasn't addicted. First step, Bri, is admitting you have a problem. And you know, huh? I'll have you know I am a porn addict. You mean recovering? Well, no. Why would you want to give up porn? Anyway, I was wanting to get this thing hooked up so we could have some slushy action because it's been so long since I've had that sweet, sticky sweetness in my mouth. You said sweet twice. Are we talking about the slushy or the porn thing or potato hot pepper, right? Potato slushy, right? All right, it's plugged in. Are you ready? Honors are all yours, sir. Jerry then pushes the button and nothing happens. He gets frustrated and starts pushing the buttons even harder and frantically. Just one time, I'd like to have a little luck on our side. I've worked here for centuries, and I can't get one slushy machine that works. Not one. I'm tired of all the lack of respect we get around here. One last hard slam on the slushy machine, and the whole power in the entire store goes out. Bri, did you pay the electric bill? What? We're supposed to pay the bills? Bri, settle down. I'm just messing with you. The fuse blew. That's all. We need to go reset it. Well, that shouldn't be too bad. Where is it? It's in the basement. We have a basement? Everything in hell has a basement. Well, I guess it'd be a sub-basement. Sub-basement? I don't know. It's downstairs. Jerry and Brian open the door to the basement with a loud creak. A flashlight click goes off as light goes down the steps. Wow, it seems like every horror movie basement rolled up into one. Yeah, it's so cliche. You think they'd spice it up a bit, but nope. Typical horror movie basement, B-Rye. What's down there? I have no idea. I've never gone down there. Why would you want to go down there? I don't want to go down there. But I think you can tell me all about it. I'll wait up here while you go and flip the fuse. Wait, why me? Well, someone has to watch the store, Bri. And since I'm the most experienced, I should be the one to stay up here. Well, I didn't even know where the fuse box is. And why don't you go down and I'll watch the store? I have better customer service than you. What? What about that time Oh, wait. That was me. Wait, what about no. Why don't we just go down together? We can be like a team. Yeah, like a team. Jerry and Brian creep down the steps towards the basement. Each step creaks. Water can be heard dripping. Other creepy sounds can be heard from the cellar depths. Geez, it's really dark down here. So you have no idea what's down here? Not a clue. The guy you replaced was one that would always come down here. Seemed like it was a fit for him. Probably why he's what? Nothing. Less you know, the better. Brian and Jerry step off the last step and into ankle-deep water. Gross. That's not toilet water, is it? No? Oh, good. I'm sure it's something much, much worse. What could be worse than toilet water? You forget where you are sometimes, don't you, Bri? Oh, that's right. Because I forget because I'm not supposed to be here. Look at all these boxes. I wonder what's in them. Do you really want to find out? It smells like moldy cheese. Could you imagine the smell if we open the boxes? Moldy cheese is in high demand, Bri. You think Insanity caused a record day wait? Wait till we start wafting that sweet golden spoiled nugget into the dark abyss. Bri, this is no time for commerce. I'm gonna do that line over. Moldy cheese is in high demand, Bri. You think Insanity caused a record day wait? Oh man, if we start wafting the sweet, spoiled golden nugget into the dark abyss. Bri, this is no time for commerce. We're on a mission to flip that fuse. Well, all right, so which direction should we go? I have no idea. Follow me. Jerry and Brian are slogging through the water with nothing more than a flashlight to guide their way. You'd think being in hell, and in a basement, in a convenience store, in that hell, you'd think I'd be a little more scared. I know what you mean, Bri. Being in hell, you see so many demons, ungodly creatures. Just isn't much to be scared of anymore. There's a screech off in the distance, and Jerry screams like a girl. Yee! There's a splash, and Jerry drops the flashlight. What is it? What is it? This is it, B-Rye. We're goners. Brian picks up the flashlight and clicks it back on. Jerry, it's okay, look. And Jerry looks, and there's a mouse eating some moldy cheese from a box. See, Brian, nothing to be scared of. Just a mouse. Don't worry. I won't tell Zani how you screamed and wet your pants. I wasn't. Come on. Looks like there's some loose wires over there hanging just above the water. I'm sure the fuse boxes have to be close. Jerry and Brian walk through the water, and in the distance, something jumping from the box can be heard. Wait. What? Well, I thought I heard something. Oh, very funny, Bri. Just because a guy gets a little startled doesn't mean... Brian. Jerry screams again, high and girly. You heard that, right, Bri? Yeah, it sounds a bit too familiar. Jerry. Oh no, it knows my name too. I don't think that was the same voice. There are loud jumping sounds on the boxes moving closer to Brian and Jerry. It's all your fault. We're here, and now we'll get our revenge. There is a loud crash of boxes. Jerry screams, "Run!" And Jerry and Brian take off running through the water. Do we get turned around? Where do all these boxes come from? It's like the boxes formed into a labyrinth. Quick, turn left! Jerry and Brian run more and more and end up at a dead end. What do we do now? Now you sleep. There are two loud thuds as Jerry and Brian are both hit with pans and falling to the ground. Jerry looks up, slightly still conscious. Is that a cute, cuddly bunny holding a frying pan? You sure that's him, Scooter? That's Jerry, all right. I've been looking all over hell. Who would have guessed he'd be working with your old owner? What do we do now, Patches? Now we tie him up and wait for him to wake up. There's a flip of a switch in the basement and the lights flicker back on. Jerry begins to rustle awake as Brian is still unconscious. And they are back to back. Oh, my head. Oh, I thought I saw a wascally wabbit. Bri, you okay? Hey, Bri. Oh, awake, I see. Too bad your partner is still passed out. I'd hate for him to miss this introduction. Come out from behind there, sucker puncher. If I wasn't tied up, I'd show you one thing. Oh, I'm sure you would. But could you take both of us on at the same time? Oh, I see how it is. 2-on-1, sneaking around. Why don't you wait till Bri wakes up and we'll have a fair fight? Oh, Bri's no fighter. I've seen him get beat up by a girl a number of times. Oh, right, what are you, as warden? Why don't you show yourself? Oh, I guess it's time for you to see who will be delivering the torture for the evening. And Patches jumps from behind the box and starts tapping his foot. You're a little fuzzy bunny rabbit. Please stop laughing, please. I have much more to my speech, and this presentation is far from over. Bri, you gotta wake up and see us. We got knocked out by a little fuzzy bunny. Oh, come on, I've worked on this for weeks, and it took a lot of time and effort. I know what'll shut you up. Jerry continues to laugh when he's hit with a fist upside his head. Oh, no one hits baby in the face. No one hits baby in the face. Brian starts to come to at this point. Oh, that's right, Jerry. I believe you remember your old man's best friend, Scooter. Hi, Jerry. I've been looking for you for a long time. What's going on? Don't be alarmed, Bri, but I think we're in an Animal Farm type of situation. Oh, good. Brian's awake. Patches, it's you. I can't believe it, buddy. I've missed you so much. Patches smacks him in the face. No, you listen to me, Brian. I'm here because of you. You took my life from me before I was ready to go. How could you, Brian? I thought we were friends. And one day, you leave me all alone. I was starving, scared. And you just left me with that old wretched woman. You mean Mom? Patches smacks Brian again, and Brian lets out a half-hearted ow. I don't care what you call her. She was a terrible woman. She killed me, Brian. She took care of you for 8 years? It was a long torture for her, Brian. She fed me all that greasy, fatty food. It was organic rabbit food. You loved it. I loved it so much I couldn't stop. Then one day I got out. Brian. And I found a lovely wild rabbit. Do you know what wild rabbits do, Brian? Sorry, just chiming in here. Is this about to get inappropriate? Because if it is, I think Scooter should cover his ears because he was a pretty sheltered dog when it came to sexy stuff. That tends to happen when you're neutered. Shut your face, Jerry. Wild rabbits. They are crazy. I made love to that rabbit for 20 minutes. Earmuff, Scooter. Okay. No, Scooter, you listen. You all listen. I made sweet love to that rabbit for 3 hours. I thought you said 20 minutes. Patches, you told me it was 60 minutes on the way over here. Well, which is it, Patches? Patches begins to cry. I didn't even make love to that sweet rabbit. I was so excited. I walked off to calm myself. That's when your dad picked me up. Turned me into stew. Stew, Brian. But deep down, I knew it was your fault, Brian. You took that life from me. Why didn't you let me be with the other rabbits? Know the touch of rabbit woman. You were just a pet, Patches. I thought you were happy. That was your mistake, Brian. And now you will pay. Scooter, get me the deballer. Scooter, I know it's been a while, buddy, but I don't think you want to do that. Well, Jerry, I don't think you need to be deballed. Eat meat. Redo that one. Well, Jerry, I don't think you needed to deball me either. But actions have consequences. Be right back, Patches. Here they are, the biggest pair I could find. You talking about those scissors and my demon tail? Oh, Jerry, you won't be laughing much after Scooter takes from you what you took from him. Patches, you don't have to do this. We can talk this through. Don't you remember all the things we did? Like back when we were alive. Don't those count for anything? You shut your mouth, Brian. After Scooter gets done with Jerry, you're next. But I never neutered you. You gave me a neutered life all the same. Empty. Worthless. And you had a second bowl of the stew. Go on, Scooter. Let's get this started. Scooter, buddy, come on. You know everything I did was for your own good. Jerry, deep breaths here. We can get through this. No, we can't, Bri. You can't come back from getting your junk cut off by a talking dog and a bunny. How is he even holding those shears? It's kind of amazing with, just the paws. Nothing's amazing here anymore, especially when you're about to lose your balls. Hold still. I don't want to cut off more than I have to. There's a soft, slow cut as Jerry lets out a scream. This is the most painful thing. I can't feel. Bri, I can't feel it. I can't feel anything. It actually doesn't hurt. Wait, are my arms free? You dumb mutt, you cut the rope. Oops. Jerry stands up, throwing the rope off of him and kicks Patches, sending him screaming across the floor into some boxes. Bri, run! Did you just kick Patches like a soccer ball? like a fluffy, anger-filled soccer ball. Make a run for the stairs. Not on my watch, you're not. Brian kicks at the chairs, breaking one of the legs off. He picks up the broken leg. Hey, boy, see a stick? Yeah, I see it. You want the stick? Not really. Brian throws the stick across the basement as it lands, making a splashdown in the water. Why would you throw it? Now I have to go and get to the steps. Jerry and Brian run through the water. Where's the stairs? Right up ahead. Just get there. Jerry and Brian run up the stairs and slam the door shut behind them. I can't believe he fell for the stick. Yeah, he was never a big fan of fetch, but he'd always chase it down. Well, what should we do now? Should we call Voice-On and tell him what? That we're getting tormented by our childhood pets? Well, I wasn't a child when I got Patches. You were what, 11 or 12 when you got him? I mean, that's a little old for a boy to, want a rabbit, but different strokes. Oh, yeah, I was, a little older than 11 or 12. Wait, Brian, how old were you when you wanted a little fluffy rabbit? College age. You were in college. What college guy wants a pet rabbit? I had weird allergies, and rabbits was the only pet I could have. Besides, Patches was a great pet. Well, guess what, Bri? He's a real dick now. We're going to have to catch these two rabbit animals and get rid of them. How in the hell do we catch two talking, weapon-wielding former pets? Well, they're still dumb animals, Bri. We take some of the produce, we put it under a box, and then when Patches and that dictator bunny come back over for a little snack, wham! We got that fuzzy asshole dead to rights. Sure seems like that'd work on a talking bunny and who was able to, sneak into the basement, shut the power off. What about Scooter? Do we just tell him to sit and stay? Oh, Bri, you son of a bitch. That is genius. I mean, no disrespect to your mother. I was being sarcastic, Cherry. Not listening now. We got a plan. This is my eternity. I'm doomed to serve rude creatures from hell and defend Lucies from rogue pets. Jerry drops a bunch of items on the floor. A carrot, box, string, and a stick. So, we'll put this box on the stick. I'll tie the rope to the stick, drop the carrot in the middle. Patches walks up. I'm a jerk-faced bunny who likes to threaten his owner's best friend with castration. Oh, look, a carrot. Sure I am a dumb, hungry rabbit. That sounds great. And then, boom, we got this rabbit trapped. Some Wile E. Coyote shit going on right here. It didn't work out for the coyote. Why are you trying to bring negativity into this plan? You gotta have faith in yourself, Brian. It's more a you problem. You gotta be more half full about things. This wasn't my... Never mind. No time for a moment, Bri. We've got a bunny to catch. Patches and Scooter walk up the stairs carrying clubs. Oh, clerks, come out to play. Oh my God, I've wanted to say that for so long. Maybe we should just go. We've already seen them and scared them enough for one day. Scooter, if it wasn't for you messing up, we would have had our revenge. Now we have to go all warriors on these two. Sure, they're hiding around here somewhere. Patches gives off a frustrated, are you serious? A carrot? That is extremely offensive. Why would you think I like carrots? And do you really think I'm dumb enough to fall for the box on a stick trap? I can talk, for God's sakes. Plus, I can see both of you. It's not even a good hiding spot. Whose dumbass idea was this? Oh, it was all Bri's idea. No, I don't belong here. All right, Scooter. It's time for you to take out Jerry. Scooter, buddy, come on. Don't let that rabbit get between us. Sit. Stay. You can't command us here with your magic. Today, the pets rule the underworld. Jerry's holding his hands up, whimpering as there's a quick swing of a bat and a knock as Patches, laughing, abruptly stops. Oh no, I can't believe he did it. My puppy knocked me out. Is this what the afterlife looks like? Or the afterlife? I'm not sure. Is there... Oh, Bry's here too. Jerry, look, Scooter. He knocked Patches out cold. There was a lot of anger in that little fluff ball. Scooter, why would you take out Patches? Well, this was the only way I could get to see you again, Jerry. You know, it just isn't all dogs that go to heaven. But all pets get a free pass, so I had to work with Patches to get down here. You're telling me that Patches was in heaven and I got sent here? Yep. That's how the big man set things up. Patches wanted to get his revenge. And when he told me Brian was working here with you, Jerry, I knew I just had to get down here. So why'd you try to cut off my man bits? You really think I'm that dumb? I cut a rope? You let us go on purpose? Oh, that's right. I just had to see you one more time, Jerry, and tell you that you were my best friend. And I'll never forget how you rescued me. A lot of people would leave an older dog on the side of the road. Not you. There's a mystical sound as light beams down on Scooter and Patches. Well, that light is so bright. What is it? Oh, they found us. Basement was keeping us hidden, but they're calling us back home now. Scooter, no, but we got so much to catch up on. No, I'm so close. Put me down, stupid heavenly light, Brian. I know why you're here. Help me, and I can tell you. Patches, what do you mean, Patches? Well, this is goodbye, Jerry. May we see each other again. Well, maybe we will, Scooter. Maybe we will. What do you think he meant? What would Patches know about why I'm in hell? If he's in heaven, I don't deserve to be in heaven. Well, who knows, Bri? Patches was an asshole. I'm sure he's just trying to get another dig in before, he had to go back. You're probably right. So you rescued Scooter? Think we kind of rescued each other, Bri. He was an old, abandoned dog, but he was a good dog. I feel like I was able to give him a good, final year. It's amazing. That dog broke into hell to see you one more time. Well, technically, so did your cuddly bunny. The door opens, doorbell rings, door closes, and Vuezon walks up to the counter. Hey guys, anything crazy happen today? Regular day. What you need? And Fiend.
Lucy 666, Episode 6, 2 Soul Clerks and a Baby Demon by Shawn. Interior, Lucy's outside. A demon teacher's out in front of Lucy's with a couple of younger demons. The demon teacher. Okay, class, little demons up here. Horns at attention, please. Thank you. Our first trip today will take us to Lucy's. This is one of the places a damned soul can end up for all eternity. Here they will serve all types of creatures from the underworld. This is a great spot to stop for a snack, like a bag of spicy chicken beaks, Diet Soul-Cola, or one of my favorite chocolate-covered goat tails. I know, they go right to my tail, but I just can't say no. Now, before we go in, can any one of you remind the class about the rules? One of the demon kids raises their hand, and demon teacher says, yes, you. Demon kid says, don't touch anything. Don't stab anyone with your horns, and under no circumstance possess one of the souls. Demon teacher says, very good. Okay, class, let's go in. So Jerry is now, they walk in. Jerry's at the front flipping through a magazine. Jerry says, welcome to Lucy 666. What can we... Holy goat, that's a lot of little demons. Demon teacher says, class, this is what we've seen in our textbooks. This is a soul that has been damned to work at a convenience store for the rest of eternity. Jerry says, hey, demon lady, it may be damned to work, but it's honest damned to work. One of the little demon kids says, I thought they came in pairs. Demon teacher says, oh, very good. There should be another one slithering around here somewhere. Excuse me, soul, can you summon your partner? Jerry says, lady, I'm not a dog that barks when told to speak. And demon and more of a demon says, summon him now. Jerry kind of, be right, we have company. So Brian comes walking in and Brian says, if it's evident, or tell her I'm not avoiding her after our kiss. I've just been oh wow, that's a lot of little demons. Brian walks to the front of the counter and Jerry says, I know, that's what I said. Brian whispering, what do they want? Jerry whispering back, I have no idea, but look at them. Aren't they so cute? They're like little monsters. I just want to squeeze their horns. Brian whispering back, seriously? There are many future evil possessing monsters. Jerry says, yeah, but they're like fun size, like a baby shark. Sure, it'll grow up to be a terror in the sea, but for now, it's just a cute, not as lethal version. Demon 2 says, teacher, what are they doing? Demon teacher says, oh, that's called bantering. You see, souls like these have a very small understanding of purpose. So what they do is they use words in a back and forth fashion to make themselves feel more important. That is called bantering. Jerry says, hey. Brian says, yeah, Miss Demon Teacher, we have purpose. Jerry says, well, I mean, I do, but I'm not really sure about this guy. Brian smacks Jerry on the arm and Jerry lets out a faint, ow. One of the little demon kids says, so which one is the boss? Demon teacher says, well, typically there is a stronger, more authoritative soul, but in this situation, you really just have two lost souls bumbling around aimlessly. Jerry says, well, if I knew it was roast Jerry and B-Rye day at Lucie's, I would have wore a roasting outfit. Brian whispering back, wait, we can wear different outfits? Jerry says to Brian, B-Rye, it's an expression. This is why I am the leader. Brian says, I thought we were more of like an equal opportunity team. One of the little demons chimes in. Do their arguments have purpose or is it just more bantering? Demon teacher, very good observation. It has no purpose whatsoever. A lot of times the souls will move to different places in their workplace and do what is called pouting. It's as fascinating as it is sad. One of the little demon kids says, this is really boring. Brian says, well, do you want to see something cool, little demon? Little demon says, teacher, can I possess that one? Demon teacher, no. What did we talk about? Brian kind of leans back and says, can they really do that? Like possess us? Jerry says, I don't know, but like I wouldn't chance it. And the demon teacher says, all right, class, since all of you were very behaved on our field trip, each one of you can pick out a snack. All the demon kids in unison, yay! So Jerry's ringing up all the snacks, beep, 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 beep. And Jerry reads out 2 bags of pickled ostrich toes, 4 cans of Diet Soul Cola, 1 bag of cheddar bat wings, 1 bag of honey-baked cashews, and lastly, a bag of chocolate-covered goat tails. That brings the total to $36.66. Hear a bunch of coins hitting, register popping. Jerry says, and there you go, Miss Teacher Demon Lady. Teacher Demon Lady says, thank you. Can I need the receipt to get my reimbursement? So tough in hell to get the funds to shape the minds of the next wave of demons. Brian says, you don't say. You'd think there'd be a bit of a concern that the next wave of horned demons would have the proper education. The demon teacher says, you don't know the half of it. They just cut our funding by 16%. Seriously, we may have to increase the class sizes. Oh, why am I talking to some souls who work at a convenience store? You two are cute, though. Jerry says, oh, gee, thanks. Demon teacher starts walking to the door, but then she turns around and says, oh, I almost forgot. Brian says, oh, it's no trouble. You don't need to thank us. The teacher walks back towards his counter and grabs a bag of chocolate goat tails. She says, don't want to leave without these delicious chocolate goat tails. They ring her up, and Jerry says, not even a thank you. No wonder those demons' kids are assholes. Brian says, this really is the lowest position for a soul. Jerry says, that's what they say, B-Rye, but if you ask me, it's the best. I mean, do you really want to be a trash guy in hell? Or what about a demon pool boy? Huh? Can you imagine Demon Miss Robinson? You go over there and you're in your Speedo and she decides to make a soul out of you. Gives me the willies just thinking about it. At least here, they just yell at you and say a few mean things. Brian says, I guess so. Maybe we should throw a fundraiser. Jerry says, for what? Brian says, for the school. I mean, those demons deserve a good education too. Jerry says, are you serious? Those are the future soul-stealing demons and you want to help them get a better education? Why don't you just give them the location of the ones you love the most to make it easier on them? Brian says, and my guy's good with a demon teacher. Maybe might help us get some more perks. Jerry says, perks? Do you know what extra perks are in hell? Not getting tortured for hours. I don't mean customers torture. I mean real pain torture. Because you mess something like that up, and that's what'll happen. Brian says, Jerry, I'm going to show you why I'm the better leader. I'm going to put on the best fundraiser Lucies has ever seen. Jerry says, I'm sure it will be, B-Rye. Brian says, you think so? Jerry says, I know so. And Brian says, thanks, man. I mean, I knew you'd be good for my self-esteem. And Jerry says, I know so, because it'll be the one and only fundraiser that Lucy's will do, because nobody in the history of the store has ever done a fundraiser. Brian says, well, we'll see about that, Jerry. We'll see. He storms off. And Jerry by himself says, fundraiser? Who does he think he is? A high school cheerleader? I swear, if he comes out here wearing a bikini, carrying a bucket of soapy water, I'm going to the boss and ask for a transfer. So Jerry is flipping through a magazine as he rings up a werewolf, and Jerry says, that'll be $16.66. Werewolf grows. Jerry says, you know, Frank, I don't control the prices. It's set by corporate. The werewolf growls. Jerry says, oh, is that so? Do you want me to call the boss and have him come down? Because I can pick up the phone, give him a ring. Jerry picks up the phone as the dial tone goes, and the wolf tosses the coins on the counter and walks out. Jerry says, yeah, that's what I thought, Frank. Now get your hairy ass out of my store before I blow the dog whistle. Door opens, closes. Jerry, as the door shuts, says, oh, I love that guy. Jerry begins humming to himself when there's some crashing in the back. Jerry says, what are they doing? What is he doing in the... Jerry says, what are you doing in the broom closet, B-Rye? Jerry begins walking up to the broom closet. And Jerry says, I think you've taken this full fundraiser thing too far. Why don't you just give it up and come back out here? He opens the door and he sees a young demon baby giggling. Jerry says, huh, B-Rye. Yeah, Brian says from the back. And Jerry says, we've got a situation. Brian is standing next to Jerry as he tosses the demon baby up and down. The demon baby is laughing. Brian says, where did that demon baby come from? This isn't another trick by Patches, is it? And Jerry says, no, I'm sure Matt just wandered away from the field trip. Brian says, I can see why the funding for the school is going down if they are losing baby demons. Wait, how do you know his name is Matt? Jerry says, oh, I don't know his name. I just named him Matt. Brian says, what do you mean you just named him? It's not your demon. You can't just give it a name. Why would you call him Matt? And Jerry says, oh, because his last name is Demon. Get it? Matt Demon. Brian says, do you take anything serious? And Jerry in a baby voice, oh, look at Uncle B-Rye, so good that mean old teacher Demon didn't say thank you. And Matt Demon gives a little dark, like, baby giggle. Jerry says, isn't Matt so cute? Brian says, I don't understand how you can think something with a laugh like that would be cute. Matt Demon starts to fuss. Jerry says, all right, Matty D, just be careful. Look at him. They grow up so quick. What's the sign for? Brian says, oh, this is for the fundraiser. Jerry unfolds the sign, holding out for Jerry. Jerry says, you've got to be kidding. Seriously, B-Rye, a horn wash? Yeah. And Brian says, well, yeah, I mean, the demons don't drive cars, so I thought a horn wash, would be the best way to raise some money for the school. Jerry says, so you're going to be washing and polishing some demon horns, huh? Brian looks at him and says, don't be crude. It's not like that. Jerry says, this is hell, B-Rye. It's always like that. You're going to get some freaky-ass demons in here asking for the old extra special wash, if you know what I mean. Matt Demon walks back carrying a rat. Jerry says, quit being inappropriate. Matty D is back. Oh, and look, he's got a new pet. Is that your new pet rat, Matty D? What are you going to name him? And Matt Demon crunches down the rat and eats it. Brian says, yeah, Jerry, he's a real cute demon. Jerry says, he's a growing demon. He's got a big appetite. So the baby demon's running all off the store and knocking stuff down now as we cut to that scene. Hey, Brian says, Jerry, will you keep that demon child quiet? I'm trying to get this fundraiser, the finishing touches on this fundraiser sign. Jerry says, well, be right. If you just get up and help me for a bit instead of having your nose in your fundraiser, maybe we'd have this under control. Brian says, I told you we should have called the school an hour ago. Jerry says, what, and send Maddie D back to the school? How can you be so heartless, B-Rye? Brian says, I'm trying to get this done so you and I can have a bit of appreciation for all the hard work we do around here. Jerry says, is that what this is all about? Do you need that demon teacher to waddle her way up here, buy some chocolate-covered goat tails, and give you those 2 words, thank you? Brian says, Jerry, I'm not doing this. For me, I'm doing it for us. Jerry says, get out of your fundraiser mode and hang out with us. Brian says, there's no us, Jerry, and I don't even want that spawn of hell to begin with. And Matt Demon starts to whimper and cry. Jerry says, what did you say? Brian says, I'm just saying it was a lot simpler. It was just me and you. Jerry says, how dare you be right? I thought I knew you. Thought we meant something to you. Matt Demon is what makes us us. Brian says, what are you talking about? He's been here less than a day. You hear the door open and close, and you hear Voisin come in. Hey, guys, what's going on? Holy shit. Is that a baby demon? Brian says, yep, Voisin. That's the thing that made Jerry and I whole. Meet Matt Demon. Voisin says, wait, made you whole? What is that? Did you just say his name is Matt Demon? Jerry from the back, I named him. Voisin say, that's pretty clever, but back to the whole thing. Brian says, ever since we brought little Maddie home, Jerry has been neglection of my feelings. It's like he doesn't care anymore. Voisin says, oh, stop right there. You guys are being influenced by little Matt Demon. Jerry says, well, some of us could be a little more influenced and care more about our family members. Voisin says, yep, that Matty D is putting a bit of a spell on you guys. So you see, baby demons don't have full control of their powers. Usually what they want the most can be used to influence souls around them. That's why they go to demon school. Like, it helps them learn to hone their craft. Jerry says, crafts? Should we do crafts with Matty D? Voisin says, all right, let me see if I can keep this from getting worse. Jerry, let me see Matty D. And Jerry says, do you want to go see Uncle Johnny? Matt Demon cries his hand over to Voisin, who starts chanting a demonic sound. Jerry and both begin to sound like they have just woke up from a long nap. Oh, man, my head feels like I was hit by a truck. Voisin says, guys are lucky I got here when I did. Any later, and you've both been looking at marriage counsel. Brian says, what was that? Voisin says, little guy had you under a demonic spell, but something seems to be... Matt Demon throws up all over Voisin. Voisin says, sick. Gross. This guy's got something horrible. Brian says, it smells so bad. And what color shade of green is that? Jerry says, pea soup green. What else? Should we call the teacher and get her to help? Voisin says, it's on the other side of hell, but if I hurry, I think I can get him back in time. Here, take him and I'll go get it. Voisin hands Matt Demon to Brian, who makes an audible, disgusted sound. Jerry says, way to make him feel bad about himself, B-Rye. Little Matty can't help it. He's sick. Here, just give him to me. Voisin stops for a second as he's trying to leave, but comes back and says, Voisin says, guys, the spell, it's feeding off your bickering. Brian says, yeah, Jerry, so stop being a bickerer. Here, take Matt Demon. I have to work to do the fundraiser, and now on top of that, I have to clean myself off. Brian hands Jerry Matt Demon and walks to the back. Jerry says, see what I have to deal with, Zonnie? We've got this little bundle of joy to take care of, and all he can do is think of a stupid fundraiser. Voisin says, I'll hurry. Jerry says as Voisin walks out, says, it's all right, little horned demon. Uncle Zonnie will be back, the mean old demon teacher, and you'll be good as new. Matt Demon is wailing as Jerry walks back and forth trying to soothe him. Jerry says, it's okay, Matt Demon. Just calm down. It'll be okay. I need your help. Shh, it's okay. You want some 666 up? White soda for your tum-tum? Brian walks back. What now? I'm busy trying to get the sign painted for the fundraiser. It's hard enough to concentrate with Matt Demon crying. Now you have to start yelling? Jerry says, I'm sorry, B-Rye. We've got such a big important thing going on. Let me just go back to take care of our responsibilities. Brian says, our? He just showed up here. Jerry says, he is just as much mine as yours. He came into our lives when we needed it the most. We are complete with this little joy of evil. Brian says, what are we even talking about? It's like you're his mother or something. Jerry says, well, I might as well be his dad too, the way you've been acting. Brian says, the way I've been acting? Jerry, I've been trying to do something helpful, not just for that horned demon, but all horned demons. Jerry says, instead of focusing on all the other demons, you should focus on the demon you have right here in the store. Brian says, Jerry, I didn't even want him to begin with. He's an accident that showed up here. And Jerry says, how could you say something like that? How could you, Brian? And Brian says, how would you call me that? You never call me that. Jerry says, well, Brian, I may not call you anything anymore. Maybe I should just leave. Would you like that, Brian? The door opens and closes and Evanora walks in. Brian says, well, this fundraiser would be going a whole lot better if you did leave and take that evil abomination out of here. And Jerry begins to tear up and Evanora says, bad time? Jerry runs up to her. Oh, Evie, I'm glad you're here. Jerry walks up to Evie looking for comfort. And Evanora says, you are? Jerry says, do you see how Brian treats me and our Matt Demon? Brian says, it's like he cares about that thing more than me, Evanora. Evanora says, that makes sense. You guys are under this little demon's spell. Jerry hands Matt Demon over to Evanora, and Matt Demon coughs a bit. Evanora says, oh, and he's come down with a bit of a cold. Well, I've got just the thing. Evanora opens up a bottle. Evanora says, that should make it all better. Now, how about easing up on these two knuckleheads, huh, little demon? Brian and Jerry both give out a hangover groan, like, oh, man. He says, oh, it hurts more the second time. So Matt Demon is running around in the background as Jerry is flipping through a magazine. Evanora looks through the cans of light virgin blood. Evanora says, Jerry, all this light virgin blood is about to expire. Do you have anything fresh? Jerry says, Evie, you know what we have to sell first. Matt Demon walks up holding a bag of chips. Evanora says, well, I guess you can have a bag of these gummy bat wings. Evanora sits her items on the counter and Jerry rings them up and Jerry says, that'll be $26.66. The door busts open as the bell rings and Wazon runs in with the demon teacher. Wazon says, how's Matt Demon? Is he okay? Jerry says, yeah, the witch doctor fixed him up. Evanora says, don't compare me to those shirtless weirdos. I'm guessing you are responsible for this little demon? The demon teacher says, that would be me. With so many of them, you tend to lose one from time to time. I'm just under my quota for the year, so I was a bit frantic trying to find this little guy. Matt Demon is handed over to the demon teacher. Evanora says, think he had a little issue, so I gave him some herbs of Graven with a hint of red Sanders. Think he should be in better in a day or two. Demon teacher says, I'll make sure the board hears of your help. Brian walks out from the back, and Brian says, Brian walks out and says, looks like we found the rightful guardian of Matt Demon. Jerry says, besides the whole demonic spell, it was fun watching him. The demon teacher says, I wouldn't say you two were much help. You know, this could have ended up much worse for you two. You should be thankful Evanora showed up when she did. I'll make sure I tell your boss what you two did today. I'd expect some disciplinary action is in order. The demon teacher walks out, and Matt Demon gives a little wave and goodbye. Brian says, well, it's always great to be appreciated. Jerry says, didn't even get to find out what Matt Demon's real name was. Evanora says, well, I mean, he doesn't have a name. And Jerry said, what? Wazon says, it's true. Demons don't get their name until their first possession. It's pretty rough not having a name to help give you an identity. It took me a long time before I got my name. Evanora says, being an evil demon just isn't the damnation you think it would be. Wazon says, watch your tongue, witch. Evanora says, don't tease me, you big hunky demon, you. I love to keep up the flirting, Wazon, but I've got potions to craft and seances to attend. I'll see you boys later. Wazon says, as Evanora walks out and leaves, Wazon says, I've got to get going too. You guys okay? You went through a tough demonic spell twice today. Brian says, we're good. We'll see you later, Wazon. Jerry says, yeah, see you, Zani. Door opens, door closes, Wazon leaves. Jerry flips the magazine. After a few seconds, Brian crumples up the fundraiser poster. Jerry says, B-Rye, you're tossing your fundraiser poster? I thought you were going to polish some demon horns. Brian says, what's the point? See how she treated us after what we did for Matt Demon? Jerry says, B-Rye, I hope you know I didn't mean all the things I said. It was just the spell. And Brian says, I know, the emotions just felt so real. It's like I was human again. Jerry says, felt strange. I'm going to miss Matt Demon. Brian said, me too. I don't care what they say. He has a name, and it's Matt Demon. Jerry and Brian crack up in a more emotional, drained laugh. And then Brian says, man, I need a vacation. Jerry says, you know what? Fuck it. He slams the magazine down, shuts it. Brian says, what are you doing? Jerry says, you and I, B-Rye, we are going on vacation. Brian says, how? Can we even leave this place? Jerry says, I've never tried, but we have supplies. Besides, after the boss hears about this, he's going to throw a shit fit. So might as well give him some more stuff to be pissed about. Brian says, I don't know about that. Jerry says, come on, B-Rye. We've been out for the SoulBall tournament. It'll be like that, except, we'll be incognito. We'll see all the sights hell has to offer. Brian says, what if we get caught? Jerry says, we're dead and in hell. Plus, we are at a mediocre of a... So Jerry says, we are dead and in hell. Plus, we are mediocre at our jobs here, so I think we're irreplaceable. Brian says, fuck it. You haven't steered me wrong yet, Jerry. Jerry says, pack a bag, B-Rye. We're going on an adventure. The end. Oh, Richard. Didn't want it to end, but it did. 3 episodes down, 6 more to go. How'd it feel reading that? What'd you think?
It was kind of a marathon.
It was. Yeah, it's about like 25 to 30 minutes a piece.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But
just like, and they just don't stop. It's like, you're like, oh my God, I wish there was another. Guess what? Boom, there's another.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's like,
and then you get done with that and you're like, oh, if only there was one more. Boom, one more.
Yeah, and you're like, God, I'm done with this. Oh, thank God it's done for this week. But it's like binging Netflix. You just keep going and going and going. But how'd you feel about reading that? You read the middle one this week. What'd you think? You're like, hated it.
Yeah, it's funny. Like, I remember reading it. I was trying to do different voices.
Oh, yeah.
For the character, for each. I don't know if, like, did you do this? Like, I tried to do different voices for the characters. Like, I would change my tone. I think for, if I remember right, I think for the dog and the bunny, I pulled out like a Tallulah Bankhead. Like, I pulled out this like weird Southern accent, and I have no idea where that came from, but it just like came out.
Yeah, it's kind of a fun little experiment to try. Because like at first I was reading just reading it, and then I started like, well, they probably need to know who it is, but
see, that's what I was doing. So in real time, I was trying to like figure out voices as I was reading it.
But it's a lot of fun. Like I said, we got 6 more episodes to go. What I think's cool too, going back, like I read it and I'm like, did I really write this? Because it's actually not too bad. But Richard, as we're tidying up this first week, we got 2 more weeks left of the Lucy 666 read-throughs. Do you have any Richard's closing thoughts?
Don't hate me. I am not a voice actor.
I like it.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I have butchered your work and ruined all the hard effort that you made with my character of a performance.
I'm sure it was amazing. I'm excited to listen back to it. But until then, let's do a little bit of housekeeping. Visit our website. We're at languageofbros.com. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at languageofbro. Email us at bros@languageofbros.com. And we always like to thank our 2 patrons, the ones that get free stuff at Lucy's 666, Wendy and Aaron.
Yeah, even slushies.
Well, when the machine's working. But it's hell, Richard, so it's never working. All right. Well, is there anything else before I close her out?
No, I'm good.
All right. Well, that's all the bros have for this show. I'm Shawn.
And I'm Richard.
And remember, don't be a why. Be a why not. Man, that slushy machine.
I want a slushy.